Hello, everybody. I'm Tom Luke. I'm here with Phil Rhodes Jr. from Futuramic's Clean Water Center. And today we're here Sunday down here at the Omaha Home and Garden Show, the last day of the show. If you haven't been down here, there's a lot of people here today. There was a lot of people here yesterday. Come on down and, we have some giveaways going on here. Today we're going to talk about, Phil is going to talk about well water treatment. So stay tuned in, and we got some equipment here behind us that he's going to talk about. Please hang in there with us for that. Before we do that, I'm going to have Phil talk a little bit about Futuramic's Clean Water Center, what their business offers, and maybe what show specials you have this weekend.
Well, I'm Phil Rhodes Jr. with Futuramic's Clean Water Center. We are Omaha's local family-owned business. We've been here 48 years, treating water in and around Omaha, probably an 80-mile radius around Omaha and Lincoln. And we do a lot of well water, which is what we're talking about today. We have been at this show. This is the last day of the Home and Garden Expo. It is the biggest of the home show seasons. You still have till 5 to run down here and see us and see the show if you want to.
Sign up for the free giveaways.
That's
that
right. You have one last day to sign up for a free ultraviolet portable purifier. And anybody that signs up at this show or any of the shows this year are entered into a drawing for one of our laundry sanitizers. So, and that drawing will be held after the last show, which is the Health and Wellness Expo in April 8th to 9th. So.
Great. And I know, let's just talk a little bit about Best of Omaha. We were actually live at the Baxter Arena for that as well, but I know, Phil, you've had great success there.
Oh, we have. We've been very excited and thankful for all of the support with Best of Omaha and everybody that helped vote us into the Best of Omaha. Every year there's been a water treatment category, and #1 the last 2 years running. So
great.
Very, very excited about that.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and go into talking about well water treatment. I'm going to just kind of ask a few questions here. So what kind of problems are there with well water, Phil?
Okay, so unlike city water, where the water is very consistent, well water, we have all kinds of well water around the Omaha, Council Bluffs, Lincoln area. Certainly there is hardness like you see in Omaha, only instead of being, we have pretty hard water in Omaha, but outside, as soon as you get outside of the city limits and onto the wells, it can be 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 times harder than it is in Omaha. We literally have customers whose faucet will start to grow scale within a week of being cleaned if it's not treated with soft water, just north of Omaha and Ponca Hills. So that's #1. #2, we have a lot of iron and manganese, especially in the river bottoms, the lake communities. And that is the red or rust staining, or the manganese is the black-brown staining that you see. And along with the rust and the manganese, we get a lot of hydrogen sulfide, which is the rotten egg smell. It's sulfur-reducing bacteria creates that. And that's where you turn on the faucet, it's like you have that just horrible rotten egg smell. That's very common, especially along the river bottoms and lake communities. Then on top of that, we have customers that have nitrate issues. We have bacteria that pops up from here, E. coli, coliform bacteria problems. We've seen a little bit of arsenic in some water. There are some volatile chemical areas. Out towards Elkhorn, there's a small area where there's a plume from some chemical that got in the water from one of the radar installations. And then down by Meade, the old ordnance plant, there are people that have to deal with chemical contaminants in the water down there. So it's really across the board very different. And the neat to us, but really kind of confusing thing with well water is that I can have a customer with pretty good water, and their neighbor across the street can have water that is on the complete other end of the spectrum. And you could throw a softball from one well to the other. So, because of the different depths and the different water tables, well water can vary greatly. So whenever we look at a well water installation, we we always have to come out and test that water, and we have to see what it is, because literally just because your neighbor or the folks who are on the same property but a different well have good water, your water may not be that way.
Right.
So it always takes a professional testing, coming out and testing that water, and then we take a look at it and say, okay, here's equipment it takes to fix that.
Okay. Well, in equipment, what type of equipment do you have to fix those well water issues?
Okay. Well, I'm going to highlight a couple of them here on the video today, but in general, it can be everything from really heavily built water softeners for water that's just mostly hardness, reverse osmosis systems for nitrate, pesticide, herbicide, chemical contamination issues. And then we have specialized well water for that, really about 3/4 of the well water out of there that has iron, manganese, or some of that hydrogen sulfide. And that's really what I'm going to talk about today, because that's what really, you get somebody that moves out on their new acreage, and they turn on the tap, and they get that rotten egg smell, and their hair starts turning orange, then it's a problem.
Yeah.
So this is what we actually, right here is our kind of a shot of the valve or the control for our EV2 Evolve water conditioning system that we use for well water. And really, these are a fantastic system. They take the place of 3 or 4 different pieces of equipment. A lot of dealers have to take an iron filter, an odor filter, a water softener, maybe a sediment filter, and then put all this equipment in the basement and try to solve those problems. And then there's varying degrees of success and a lot of maintenance a lot of times. The neat thing with the Evolve system is one tank handles all of those issues. It uses a special crystal-right media. It's a natural water softening media, unlike the synthetic water softening medias we use in town. This is a natural media. It works by removing all of the heavy metals in the water, the iron, manganese. It even takes things like lead and uranium and any of the heaviest metals. Then it also, as an additional benefit, softens the water. So this one not only takes care of the iron and the manganese and the hardness, but it gives you good soft water, and it sanitizes itself every time it cleans, so it kills bacteria that are naturally present in well water. So this system is kind of an all-in-one system. Then if you have a lot of extra odor in the water, this knocks out, I would say, odor in about 80% of the situations we go on. But when we get that really bad rotten egg smell, which is a bacterial infection of your household plumbing and the well, it's not a dangerous or harmful bacteria, but it's what we call a nuisance bacteria. So its nuisance is, in its process or bodily function, it gives off hydrogen sulfide gas. And hydrogen sulfide gas is present in that rotten egg smell at a very low level. So we want to get rid of that bacteria. This system is really good at blocking it from coming in and eliminating some of the odor. But right over here, if you can kind of pan down just a tad, we have the other half of this system, and that is what we call our auto sanitizer. And it is a very fine chemical injection pump that ties in with the control on our EV2, and it injects a very small amount of hydrogen peroxide into your water after our treatment is done. Now, the neat thing with hydrogen peroxide, it's not like adding chlorine or other chemicals that stay in the water and leave some sort of a residual. Hydrogen peroxide turns into oxygen in water very shortly after we put it in there. So there's no residual chemical left in the water. All you end up with is extra oxygen, which is only good for you. I mean, there's even kind of a couple of fads going now, drinking oxygenated water. Well, when you have one of these, you have automatic oxygenated water, and it completely eliminates the odor. And it kills the bacteria that are creating that odor throughout your home plumbing system on a very continual basis. So it keeps your house, a little side benefit of that is in the laundry. We actually have a special product for this in town, but if you have one of these, because it is sanitizing your water in the laundry, you will have no bacteria. So if you leave the laundry in the tub overnight and forget to throw it in the dryer, it's not going to smell in the morning because your water is literally sanitized all the time.
We've all experienced that before.
Right. So that that's kind of in a nutshell our premier system for well water.
What about your system is different than maybe others that people might see out on the market? What do you do different?
We actually approach iron and manganese removal completely different than most of the other companies on the market. And the reason for that is the crystal right media that we have in our system. This is a proprietary media to our manufacturer, Water Right. They make it. They have the only source of crystal zeolite in the world. And it's a really unique substance. It allows us to take iron and manganese out differently than other companies do. Most companies take the iron and manganese and they use some sort of a chemical to turn it into a solid. And then they filter that solid. And then your water comes out clean and pure. And it works pretty well. The problem is once you turn those things into a solid, they tend to plug stuff up. They make it very hard to clean the bed that filters it. They plug up the head. They get stuck in the pipes. They plug orifices. So there's lots of maintenance with the turn it into a solid, filter it method. What we do is we remove those items in the dissolved form. They never form a solid. So we take them out in a chemical process called ion exchange, just like a water softener. So we keep them always in solution or in ionic form. And then when they're flushed out and down the drain, they're in solution, they're in liquid. So you don't have anything to plug up the pipes, plug up the machine. And our systems tend to be very, very low maintenance. You don't get to know your service guy. Not that we don't want to see you.
That's a good
thing. But a lot of people that have iron filters know if you have one, you know your serviceman really well. When you have one of our systems, you're more likely to have to, work to remember his name.
Sure. Awesome. Well, if I just bought an acreage and I'm interested, what do I need to do to get one of these installed?
Well, the best thing to do, get on our website, give us a call. If it was earlier in the show, I'd say come on down here, but you don't have much time to do that. But stop into our shop, give me a call, send me an email, and visit with us. We will set up time for one of our estimators to come out, take a water test, and actually look at what's in your water, ask questions about what you're concerned about, and we'll give you a quote for equipment. No hassle, no pressure, nuts and bolts estimate.
Awesome. And you can just email you online too. You have a
Absolutely.
contact form on your wonderful website.
Yeah, omahawater.com, which you can find right through our Facebook page.
Awesome. Well, any final comments, anything that we haven't discussed that maybe you want to add in about these systems?
Well, the biggest thing is that we've been doing this for 48 years. We really know well water. A lot of companies concentrate where the people are in town. There's lots of sales in town. It's easy. You just put equipment in that works. On well water, if you have well water, you know this. It's not that easy. We have it figured out. We've been doing this. Give us a call and we can help you.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Thanks so much, Phil, for explaining everything about these systems, the well water systems. Don't forget, we did 3 other live broadcasts. Thursday was on water softeners, and Phil explained everything about water softeners. Friday, we did one on their clean water, reverse osmosis clean water systems. Yesterday, we talked about
Odors Away.
Odors Away, thank you.
Yes.
Odors Away, which was amazing and kind of fun to watch. So those are all on the Facebook page. If you have interest in any of those, take a look. And I'm going to have Phil talk about, he'll be at a lot of events coming up this spring, and why don't you share with them some of the other ones you're going to be at?
Yep. So our upcoming shows over the next really month and a half to 2 months. On the 25th of February, we'll be at Extreme Beer Fest. Great water makes great beer. Sorry, a little slogan there. The Midwest Ag Show, March 8th and 9th. The Husker Lawn and Leisure Show in Lincoln is March 10th through the 12th. We'll be right back over at Council Bluffs at the Mid-America Center, March 17th through the 19th. Then we're right back here for the Omaha Spring Home Show, the late show, April 7th through the 9th. And that same weekend, we're over at the Baxter Arena for the Health and Wellness Expo. Another really fun, very informative show.
You're definitely going to be busy coming up here. So if you can make it down here yet today, we'll be here till 5.
Till 5 o'clock.
In the booth. And if you can't make it down here, please join him at one of these other shows. So thank you very much. Please like and share this with anybody that you might know might be interested in any of the products that Futuramic offers. We certainly would appreciate that. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Great, thank you.